Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the GFI Racing League podcast. This is episode 8 of the podcast. Been doing this a while now. Pretty cool. Really been enjoying it. Had a really fun and wild and challenging week of racing here at the GFI Racing League this week between our Cup Series, Xfinity, GT3, and ARCA Series. It was just a really fun, but also a little bit of a challenging week between some of the tracks that we hit there. Hope you all enjoy the episode, and let's go ahead and get right into it and talk about the Cup Series. The Cup Series race this week was at Kansas Speedway. It was a 74-lap race that we ran out of the 70 scheduled laps, went into an overtime there. We had 8 cautions and 4 lead changes. This was a really fun race. I mean, lanes. You can go anywhere in Kansas, anywhere you want. Try and make up your position, run high, run low, middle, between all three, something like that, you know. It's a really fun place, and you got a lot of options there. But it's also a little bit tricky as well. So that's fun to see how that all works out. I had a pretty good day. I somehow managed to finish P5. That was pretty fun. Started like P9 or 7 or something like that. So had a pretty good day myself. It was rough out there, but as long as you kept a good handle on it with the tires and picking a good line, it seemed to be okay out there. Now let's go ahead and talk about qualifying. Our pole winner was Ralph Gilbert, drives the number 9 for Ajax. He set a time of 31.309 to get pole there. Congratulations, Ralph. Good job. And then in P2 was Mitchell Sundstrom in the number 8 for Ajax. He set a 31.393. Good job there getting a P2. Not too far off from that P1 spot. And then we'll jump into our race results, where our race winner is Christopher E. Green in the number 50 for Ajax. He started P16 and led 30 laps. Congratulations, Christopher. Really good job on the day. Starting P16, came up through the field wonderfully and leading 30 laps. That's really good control of this race, and I can't wait to get into that interview and ask him how he did it all. Finishing in P2 was Ralph Gilbert in the number 9 for Ajax, and then finishing in P3 was Mitchell Sundstrom in the number 8 for Ajax, who led 8 laps. This was just an Ajax day, just taking over the day, setting P1 and P2 in qualifying, then finishing in the top 3. Wow. Good job from Ajax. They're a team that really performs. They've got it together in the Cup Series with some good finishes, a lot of wins, and a lot of top 5s. Our most improved position of the day was Liam Pavia in the number 21, who was up 21 spots when he started P9 and finished P28 in the race. Good job, Liam. Congratulations. That's coming up quite a bit. And finishing in the top 10 got you some good points. Our biggest fall of the day was Dylan Hartman in the number 90 for FHR, who started P4 and finished P31, minus 27 spots. Not the day you'd want to have it all. Sorry about that, Dylan. Wishing you some better luck next week in Cup. That is terrible. That's a big fall. That'll take us into our team points, where the points leader is Ajax 1 Racing again this week with 766 points. They've got a big lead in the team points, and that's because of their 14 total top 5s, where Tag only has 4 top 5s total, and then Velocity has 6. They are up 70 points this week with 2 top 5s. Congratulations, Ajax, just being a wonderful team in the Cup Series and just having really good control and keeping it together. Second in points is Tag E Racing, jumping up 1 spot this week with 610 total points, up 60 in this race with a top 5 and a top 10. And then in third is Velocity, dropping a spot this week with 608 points, up 56 in this race with a top 10, and then another driver out of the top 10. So that's pretty cool between Velocity and Tag, a 2-point difference. We'll see how that changes next week. That'll be pretty interesting. Again, that big gap between them and Ajax. So it's mostly a fight for second right now. We'll see how this continues to all fold. That'll take us into our driver points, where our points leader is Kyle Purcell in the number 86 for SCR with 338 points, up 13 in this race. Second is Mitchell Sundstrom in the number 8 for Ajax with 338 points, tied with Kyle. Very neat. We'll see how that goes next week. He is up 35 in this race with a top 5. Davis Brown is in our third spot, drives the number 6 for Ajax with 325 points, up 27 in this race with a top 10. So that was a really fun race at Kansas. Really cool place to go. A lot of options again. And I think everybody pretty much enjoyed it, unless you were involved in an incident, of course. That'll take us into our Xfinity race, which was at Talladega. How could you not love a super speedway? It was a 50-lap race with 3 cautions and 25 lead changes. Wow. A really fun race at Dega. Speedways are amazing as long as everything stays under control, but it's a speedway. You can't be in control 100% of the time. Something's going to happen, and it did definitely on the last lap, and that's how we got our race winner. Now jumping into qualifying, our pole winner was Shannon Wood in the number 02 with a 54.802. Really, really good time setting pole. That's fast. And then in P2 was Lucas Chapman, the number 17, with a 54.805. Really, really close times right there between the top two. And Lucas actually ended up leading 4 laps in the race. So good job, Lucas. As well as a good job to Shannon for setting the pole. Congratulations there. That'll take us into our race results, where our race winner was Kyle Purcell in the number 86 for SCR. He started P19, led 4 laps, and came and won this thing just against all odds on the last lap. Came through and did it. No matter what, he said he's going to get it done, and he did right there on that last lap. Finishing in P2 was Shannon Wood, who led 5 laps. And then in P3 was Brandon Beckstead in the number 92, who started P23. That's a big come up. Congratulations, Brandon, getting that top 3 finish. Our most improved position of the day was Eugene Richard in the number 72 for Dirty Air, started P31 and finished P6, up 25 spots. That's pretty amazing, but not too hard to do on a speedway. As long as you know the fundamentals and know what you're doing, you can work yourself up there if you got some help as well. So congratulations, Eugene, for getting a good finish there in the top 10. Our biggest fall of the day was Lucas Chapman in the number 17, who started P2 and finished P31, minus 29. Speedway can do that to you. You can start with a really good day and finish with a really poor one, and that's a chance you take coming out here. Sorry about that, Lucas. Wishing you some good luck next week and when we're back to some of the more regular tracks. I drive the number 16 for Taggy Racing, and we were actually having a really good day out there. My teammate Michael Nelson leading, coming to the end, again leading one of these Xfinity races, up there at the front and right there where he needed to be on the last lap. Trouble again. It's just crazy how this keeps happening. He should have had maybe like 3 or 4 wins by now, but just some challenges, but I'm sure he'll get it. And I was right there too in position, possibly could have got it done, but oh well, it just didn't fall our way. I made a mistake, and then I guess apparently some other people did. I don't know why we keep crashing in the last lap of these super speedways. I wish we didn't have to and we could just finish under green, but I guess everybody feels like they got a shot. But yeah, just wish my team could have come away with the win today, especially Michael. He's really hunting for it. Hopefully we're talking about him next week, finally grabbing it. That'll take us into the points for Xfinity. We'll start with the team points, where the leader is Tag E Racing, up 1 spot with 521 points, up 42 in this race. That's pretty impressive. Ajax has held the lead in Xfinity for a good amount of weeks now, but Tag surprisingly has come and stolen it now, which is pretty impressive. That's the team I'm a part of. I'm pretty happy about that, as well as impressed with our performance and our consistency. In second is now Ajax One Racing, following that spot with 507 points, up 23 in this race. In third is Velocity Motorsports with 484 points, up 60 in this race, with a top 5 and a driver outside the top 10. Pretty interesting, the mix-up in points there. That's now very different from Cup, so this will all be interesting to see how it continues to fold coming into the closing weeks here of this series. Jumping into our driver points of this series, the leader is Kyle Purcell in the number 86 for SCR, jumping up 2 spots. He's got 285 points, up 42 this week with the win. And then sitting in second is Sean Purcell in the number 74 for FHR with 279 points, up 32 in this race with a top 5. And then in third is Ralph Gilbert in the number 9 for Ajax, dropping 2 spots, losing the lead in points with 269 points, up 16 in this race. Not enough to hold his position. So yeah, that was a pretty fun and wild race at Dega on the last lap. Wow. But speedways are just some of the best tracks in my opinions. Really fun way of racing. And once you understand the fundamentals, it's really not hard to get where you want to go as long as you got the help. So can't wait to get back to a speedway in one of the series. But we'll be getting back to some of the more regular tracks now. and we'll be on to Iowa next week for Xfinity. That'll be interesting to see. I really enjoy Iowa. Can't wait to drive it in the Xfinity car and see if I can figure it out and who the winner might be. That'll take us into our GT3 race, which this week was at Circuit de Ledenon. I messed that up. I probably messed that up, 100%. Don't really know how to say that. But it was a 35-minute race with 26 laps and 4 lead changes. Our qualifying for this race, our pole winner was Kyle Purcell in the number 86 for SCR with a 1 minute 20.423 second lap in his Acura NSX. Really fast time there. Congratulations, Kyle, getting your first pole in GT3 on your debut. Pretty neat. And then in P2 was Tyler Carson in the number 34 for Ascend with a 1 minute 20 second .679 lap in his Audi R8. Congratulations, Tyler, on that P2 qualifying lap. Almost getting that pole position there. Only 2/10 off. Real close there. But of course, you got redemption, because that'll take us into our race results, where Tyler Carson was our race winner. Came through to win the thing, led 23 laps. Congratulations, Tyler. Can't wait for this interview. And Kyle ended up finishing in P2, led 3 laps. Really good job. Had a good race for his first GT3 race here in the series. And he actually set the fastest time in the race. So it's not like he didn't have the pace. There were just some challenges ahead of him in this one. And then in P3 was Brandon Beckstead in the number 92. And I heard in this race it was just hard to pass. It was pretty tight. But it was a fun race, and people did enjoy it. And the track was some fun, even though it was tricky to get around people. I did talk to Cliff, and he mentioned being a little bit held up where he knew he was faster than the people in front of him, but he ultimately couldn't get by. And that was just some of the challenges that the track presented. And that'll take us into our most improved position, which was Cody Carson in the number 94 for Ascend. He started P8 and finished P4, up 4 spots. Good job, Cody, pulling it together, even though you started a little further back than I usually see you start. So congratulations coming up and finishing in the top 5. That'll take us into our biggest fall. Someone who started in the top 5, Anthony Alex in the number 22 for Velocity, started P3, but ended up finishing P29. That's just too bad. Falling quite a bit of spots. Starting in P3 can really set yourself up well for the day as long as you hold it all together and don't run into trouble. I guess ultimately he did. So hope he has some better luck next week. And if he starts well, hopefully he can finish there or better. That'll take us into the GT3 Series points. We'll start with our team points here, where the points leader is Ascend Motorsports with 2,560.5 points, up 970 in this race. In second is Velocity Motorsports with 1,639.1 points, up 576 in this race. And then in third is Tag E-Racing with 1,155.5 points. No points gained in this race. Nobody showed up. I didn't show up. I didn't race myself in here. Just decided not to. Decided to do other things because I felt I'd be challenged here. And that'll take us into our driver points, where the points leader this week is still Cliff Chanel in the number 80 with 2,885 points, up 278 in this race. Congratulations holding that lead still. We'll see how that continues to go as we come into the closing weeks here for the championship. In second is Tyler Carson in the number 34 for Ascend with 2,838 points. Really close to Cliff. He's up 382 points this week. And then third is Cody Carson in the number 94 for Ascend with 2,506 points. Up 303 in this race. A little bit farther away from Tyler and Cliff, but still got a chance if he can pull it together in the next couple of races. So overall, pretty cool race in GT3. The winner was somebody that is pretty dominant in the series and really knows what he's doing. Kyle was close to getting it done, but I believe he took tires during his pit stop, and maybe that was the decision that lost it. I guess we'll never know. But that'll take us into our ARCA race, which was at Iowa this week, and it was a 70-lap race with 0 cautions. Can you believe it? 0. 5 lead changes. Pretty amazing race. I guess you could say it was kind of a snoozer, being that there were 0 cautions, not much action once it started. That was it. Nobody got back together. Nobody got back close together to try and race for position and gain spots easier than you could once we're all spread out. But it was still a fun race. At least we did get spread out so that we weren't running into as many issues caused by other people, and if we did, it was more of a personal issue of missing the line or overdriving the car. So it was a pretty uneventful race, but a pretty good race, I guess. It was a peaceful drive. Let's just say that. And we'll go ahead and jump into the qualifying, where our pole winner was Kyle Purcell in the number 86 for SCR with a 23.617 lap time. Really good job. He led 33 laps in this race, but ended up finishing P13 with some challenges. That's too bad, but set another pole in the week, so congratulations there, Kyle. He's a really fast driver, and we'll probably be interviewing him again next week for a win. Be sure you catch his race interview this week on Wednesday. Setting the P2 time was Quint Hightower in the number 45 for Velocity with a 23.624. Really fast time and really close to Kyle. Just a little bit of part of a second there between them. So really good job on that time. Congratulations, Quint, who was actually our race winner, which will take us into our race results. Won the dang thing, drives the number 45, led 24 laps. Really good job, Quint. Setting himself up well, qualifying in P2 there, and then just going on and taking the day and finishing in the lead. And then finishing in P2 was Sean Purcell in the number 74 for FHR, started P3. And then finishing in P3 with Cliff Chanel in the number 80, started P7, came up a couple of spots, and had a really good finish on the day. So congratulations there to our top three. And especially congratulations to our winner there. And our most improved position of the day was Brian Troy in the number 14 for Tag E Racing. A little change in numbers, but no change in driving. He's still doing a really good job of just coming up through the field, and no matter where he seems to start, he can figure it out and pass them cars. So congratulations, Brian. Started P14 today and finished P8, up 6 positions. Really good drive on it. And no matter what challenge seems to be in front of him, he can overcome it and pass some cars and finish good on the day with a top 10 there. I mean, it's just a question of which series he's going to get most improved position on next week, right? But that'll take us into our biggest fall of the race, which was Kyle Purcell, someone who's not often in this position. Drives the number 86 for SCR, started P1, finished P13, dropped 12 spots, just fell into some challenges in this race. He thinks he could have won the dang thing, says that in our interview, which is coming out Wednesday. Look forward to that. But ultimately did not. So that's too bad. Sorry that the day did not work out, and wishing you some luck in the next one. That'll take us into the ARCA points. We'll start with the team points, where the points leader is still Tag E Racing with 495 points, up 60 in this race with 2 top 10s. In second is Velocity Motorsports with 443 points, up 75 in this race with the win and a top 5. And then in third is Skewer Cat Racing, this new emerging team, with 368 points, up 25 in this race. A big mover in team points is Triple Bulb, who moved up 2 spots into P7, so congratulations there. That will take us into our driver points, where the points leader is Kyle Purcell in the number 86 for SCR with 327 points, up 25 in this race outside of the top 10. And then in second was Quint Hightower for Velocity in the number 45 with 244 points, up 41 in this race with the win. And then third is still Brian Troy in the number 14 for Tag E Racing with 242 points. And the number 29 getting a top 10, just staying consistent and holding his spot. So congratulations there. But yeah, Iowa was challenging. The cars were really tight. Once we set in there, I mean, it was what it was. And we just drove it until the end. Try to take care of your tires was something that was in my mind, to try to take it to the end. I didn't want to blow them off in the first 10 laps or whatever and make the next 30 or 40 really challenging. But it was still a pretty fun race. It was really peaceful, so that was a good change. But that is it for the week. Can't wait for next week. We got a really fun race in Cup at North Wilkesboro, so join us for that. That'll be our kind of all-star race, so you could say. And some other fun races through the week were Xfinity's at Iowa, so that'll be another fun one. See how the car drives differently from the ARCA car. Will we get the same winner from ARCA? I don't know. That's a good challenge. We'll see how that all plays out. Thank y'all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Can't wait to see y'all next week. Make sure you're tuning in on Monday for our Cup Series broadcast at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And then tune in Wednesday for our winner interviews from this episode and of this week. And make sure you're tuning in next Sunday for the next episode of this podcast. Hope y'all enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in and have a good rest of your week. Take care.